I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy. And this is Maggie Mae.
Join us as we follow the moon. We are exploring the beautiful state of Colorado today, up and down Interstate 25, and we want you to come along with us and see some of these magnificent sights. And see before you watch the video if you can guess where we are.
Thanks.
If that big red rock behind us wasn't a clue, this certainly will be. First stop today, the Red Rocks Amphitheatre in Morrison, Colorado. This is just on the southwest side of Denver. And Morrison is a small town, and it's 2-lane roads, and I can only imagine on a concert day how thick the traffic must be.
That's right. It's way out in the middle of, you can see.
Yeah. I guess at night you can see the lights of Denver off in the distance when you're in the amphitheater. But there's even a tunnel there in the rocks going back to it. This place is absolutely incredible. We had seen a couple of videos of performances done there and have always admired it. The parking area around here, if you come during the daytime, anytime up until around 2 o'clock, that's when they start sound checks. You've got free roam of the place. It's fantastic, and there's no charge to go in. There's no charge for parking. The part of the amphitheater where the seating ends was all done by the Civilian Conservation Corps. So there was some blasting involved, but the main rock structures that you see were there untouched. This is one of the things that you definitely need to stop at, this little round building that's much more than what you see there.
That's right.
This is the visitor center. And the visitor center, this is a little diorama of what it looks like looking down on the amphitheater. I guess that's a stone that was found there, but it's really cool. When you take the steps or the elevator downstairs, you go to the gift shop, you see one of the first acts that appeared there in 1910. And then their entire Hall of Fame, all the performances that have been there each year through the years.
It's pretty incredible.
I could have spent a couple hours going through that. It was just incredible. This one, the Beatles in 1964.
That blew me away.
That blew me away.
$6.60.
And it was pretty well full.
Yeah.
When you come back up out of the visitor center, this is like a main plaza that they have between the two big rocks that go down the side. And they are soft stone. I believe they said they were sandstone.
Yeah.
And so they absorb the sound, so you don't have sound ricocheting and bouncing back and forth. There was a sound check while we were there, and standing up there, you could talk over it. It sounded like they were singing in the same room with you. It wasn't blaring loud, but it was crystal clear.
The sound was chilling.
Yep. Now, there's a group of them exercising, and they allow you to come in if you want to run the stairs. I don't know who would, but somebody might.
Not me.
And then this is the amphitheater itself. I believe it's around 70 rows. And I can honestly say there wouldn't be a bad seat anywhere in there. Now our next stop was Pulpit Rock Park. This is in Colorado Springs, and if you're on Interstate 25 driving through town, you can't miss it. Pulpit Rock is right there on the side of the road. Great hiking. It's about a 2-hour hike, we were told, round trip, and we had things to do, so we stopped and got a few pictures and went on to Broadmoor 7 Falls.
This place is a must-see. It is so beautiful.
If you use the address on Google Map, it takes you into a convention center, and that's where their little buses pick you up and take you back to this place.
It's about 15 minutes back.
Yeah, and it is unbelievable.
And you can take your dog.
Yes, the entire park is dog friendly. You've got about, I think they said it was a 3/4 of a mile walk back to the falls. And they also will escort back handicapped.
Yeah.
There's a couple little, that was a little general store. There's a couple little places like that along the way.
The views are incredible.
They really are.
And the water runs the whole walk back.
Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful canyon that you're walking through on the way back. The flowers, the landscaping are just incredible. This was a little area where they do have some food trucks set up on occasion. Cathy was busy getting pictures of me and Maggie.
Is that the restaurant? Oh no, that's
a
the
little
entrance.
chipmunk, yeah.
That goes back into the elevator. Pretty sure.
That's the restaurant over there. And that restaurant's called 1858. And they do have fresh trout on their menu, but I don't believe those were those. And then at the base of the falls, you see the stairs going up.
There's
All the
a lot
stairs.
of them, and they're steep.
Yes. If you don't feel up to doing the steps, you do not have to do the 224 steps that are pretty near vertical. There is another great way to see the top of the falls.
There it is.
If you come through this, it's marked elevator. It looks like an old mine shaft. It'll bring you up to the crow's nest. I'm sorry, the eagle's nest.
Eagle's nest, which I
Yeah.
didn't see an eagle.
Yeah. And there you can see the falls. That fall is 7 unique falls from the top to the bottom. Great vantage points. And you can see all the other stairs.
Yeah. It's a lot of steps.
And each of the falls is named. This will show you each of them as they cascade down the hill and what they're all named. While you're up there in the eagle's nest, you'll see their little rockhound shop.
I didn't dare go in there.
I only went in far enough to the doorway. Now in Manitou Springs, we made a quick stop at the Miramont Castle. This castle has been restored to its former glory, 30 rooms. It's a tea parlor, and you can make reservations for high tea with them. But at one point, it was the Montcalm Sanitarium. So I imagine there's a lot of good stories that can be told by those walls.
Probably some hauntings too.
I would imagine. Now, a little bit older dwelling is the Manitou Cliff Dwellings. And We've been to a number of cliff dwellings. We've never been to anything like this. The parking area goes right up to where the cliff dwellings are.
That was pretty amazing.
They've got a little cafe there. You can see the parking slots right there, and you can see the cliff dwellings right behind it. So if you like to see something like this without having to take a long hike, this is definitely a place to come.
You can walk through them though.
They are all open. You can go into the first level, second level. You can see some of the hieroglyphics that are there. Some of the passes through there are a little bit narrow, but you can see daylight in almost every room.
Yeah, and it's a very popular place, so you have to be patient.
That's exactly right. The kiwa here is where the fire was burnt, and it was pretty ingenious the way that they had the air coming in so the smoke didn't fill the rooms.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people live there as well. They mentioned just in little sections how many people would live in each section, and it was amazing.
You would think they were sleeping standing up.
Yeah.
Now we started on the end towards us there on the right hand end and worked down through them, and when you get down to the far end, they actually are like a two-story. There's a ladder you can climb to go up onto the balcony of the second story.
And they had a limited amount of people who could go on that.
Yeah, only allowed 2 people on the balcony at a time for weight considerations. This one was a little bit tight going around the
Yes.
curve here.
Yeah.
But it was neat how they were all interconnected through the rooms as well as to the fronts of them. There you can see the balcony up there and the little rooms that go in off of it. Now once you've explored those, they have another little area. This was a granary, and you can actually see how they took the corn and ground it. And then there's also the Pueblo. And the Pueblo actually was inhabited by Native Americans up until a few years ago. And the Pueblo is now used as a museum and a gift shop.
It's really nice. Their artifacts are amazing.
Yeah, and they're presented really nice. One thing that I had never seen before, this is an elk with a malformed horn.
Yeah.
And they said it was probably a disease or an injury caused that, and that malformation is to let the females know that he's probably not the best breeding stock.
Poor guy.
But lots of great things to explore, and this is through the years, different things that have taken place there. And I happened to zero in 1972, $6,800 for a Class A motorhome. Have times changed? Well, from there we went on into the little historic downtown of Manitou Springs, and you see here on the sidewalk it says Soda Springs. This town is full of springs, and Soda Springs Park is fed by one of those many springs that are throughout the town. I like that, Rusty the Snowman.
It's called Soda Springs because the water is naturally carbonated.
That's something I'd never heard of before.
I know.
This was a little relief map that was put up. And there's the key.
This is a neat little town.
It sure is. And the water from the springs flows throughout. There's a lot of places if you want outdoor dining. The climate's beautiful. You can see the rocks right there behind the buildings.
It's nestled in amongst the mountains.
It sure is. There was even an area here that was all like amusements.
Mm-hmm.
Notice those rocks right there hanging over those stores. A lot of metal work. It does kind of give you a feeling of stepping back in time.
Definitely.
Here's another one of the springs that are there. There's several of these little spring houses along the way. There was one place that was just a little thing in the middle of the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
This building's called the Vault, and this was formerly the Bank of Manitou. It was built in 1925, and the vault is still there. They still have handbags and all displayed in there. The woodwork, the tin ceilings, really, really a beautiful building. And they do have a lot of historic pictures and things of the area. Now their clock sits right there in the middle of town. And the little storefronts, you can tell they're old buildings, but there isn't an empty storefront in town. We stopped for lunch at the Manitou Brewing Company. This is a little microbrewery there in town. And it's a very, very popular spot. We were doing lunch a little early. It was probably 12:30, 1 o'clock, and the place was packed.
It sure was.
They had outdoor seating, which was great with us with Maggie. We got a flight to try. There was a peach. There was a lime. There's really, really nice brews. The menus are all off the QR codes. Cathy had a chicken salad croissant.
Oh, it was amazing.
And I had a burrata salad with flank steak on it, and it was out of this world. Now, walking around town, you'll see lots of artwork. Again, a lot of metal work, but lots of artwork throughout the town.
Colorful and vibrant.
Mm-hmm. Very alive. Definitely a place to stop at rather than to just drive through.
That's right.
And I love the old gas pump. Well, Cathy, what have you thought about the beautiful sights that we've seen in this area of Colorado?
You know, everywhere we go, I keep thinking it can't get better. And this is one of those places that everywhere you look, it's amazing.
We've seen some beautiful things here already, and we're just getting ready to start heading west through Colorado towards Utah. So we'll have a lot more coming your way very, very soon. If you've enjoyed the video, leave us a thumbs up. We certainly appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, watch for the button up in this corner of the screen at the end. If you tap that button, you can ring the notification bell, and YouTube will let you know every time a new video comes out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.